Hello, I'm Julia Donaldson and I'm the author of this book, The GoAway Bird. I'm very excited. I'm holding it in my hands for the very first time.
And I'm Catherine Rayner and I'm the illustrator of The GoAway Bird.
The GoAway Bird's a story about a very grumpy, antisocial bird who keeps saying, go away, go away, go away to all the other birds, but in the end she's in a position where she actually needs a few friends. Yeah.
And during the book she meets a lot of different birds and some are friendly, but one of them is not friendly, is he?
At all. I got the idea for the GoAway Bird when I was in Africa. I'd been on a book tour, but when I go on these book tours I always like to tack on a bit of holiday. So I was on holiday in Africa and seeing lots of wildlife, and then one day we saw this grey bird in a thorn bush or something actually going, go away, go away, go away. And I found out this bird actually is called the GoAway Bird. And straight away I thought, if there's a GoAway bird, there could be a comeback bird as well. And so that was the germ of the idea. So the GoAway Bird, in my story anyway, is a very solitary sort of, bird shooing everyone away,
quite
just
grumpy.
wants to be by herself. I have heard in real life they sometimes come in great big flocks, so maybe they're not quite so antisocial after all.
I've watched a lot of footage of them and I can't believe the noise that they make. It really does sound like go away, go away, go away, but whilst I was watching the filming I was quite surprised that they were actually very sociable and friendly too. They're actually probably quite nice.
Did you do lots of research into all the birds in the story, or did you make some of them up?
Well, I tried to keep them all as real birds, but it didn't quite work. So I did lots of research into African birds, books, internet, and I watched a lot of footage of the birds and how they move to get different characters for the different coloured birds. I wish that I'd seen them in real life, and it would have been nice if there was a different colour for each of the birds, but I ended up making them up. But the GoAway Bird is real, and the Get You Bird is also real.
And what's the Get You Bird? Is that based on a big hawk?
Yes, it is. So he's very scary, he's got very scary eyes in particular, and he's meant to overshadow all the other birds, and he brings a bit of drama into the book.
Although I got the idea when I was in Africa, I didn't actually, sit down and write it then. Usually ideas, mull about in my head quite a long time. So I actually wrote it when I got back. But I did find Africa very, very inspiring. I don't usually, get inspired to write when I'm travelling, but that particular journey to Africa actually inspired not just the GoAway Bird, but another book called The Ugly Five, which is about other ugly animals that we saw on safari.
Well, it was a very interesting book to illustrate in terms of composition because it's all based in the one tree. So obviously there are hundreds of beautiful African landscapes that I could have illustrated, but we had to do it all in the one tree with over a few branches really. So I mixed the colours in the leaves to kind of represent all the different coloured landscapes that I knew of, that I'd seen pictures of and heard about. So it's got the African feel and it's got the colours, but somehow we're still in one tree, but it's still quite interesting when you turn the page.
It makes me realise you saying that it's such a challenge, isn't it? I blithely write a book, just in one tree, and then the poor illustrator, God, it's just in one tree, how am I going to do that? You've done such a good job, and it is still quite varied.
Well, it's lovely. It's a lovely, lovely challenge because you can really think about the design of each page and how interesting you can make a tree with the page turn. So, and you have to keep it very consistent because they can't jump around too much. And when they've flown off, you still have to see the tree just to give it a bit of grounding to show where they live, basically.
I suppose a lot of people would imagine that we were sitting down side by side and I'd read a bit and you'd do a little sketch, but it's not a bit like that, is it?
We're a little bit more separate than that, aren't we? So I received your text and read it and loved it. And, oh, it's brilliant. And immediately had ideas for images. And then I would do a sort of map of what I was going to draw on each page. And I tried to get that looking as final as possible before it was given to you to have a look at. And then you gave me some feedback on those designs and illustrations. Oh no, we designed the characters first, didn't we?
Yes, I suppose that usually happens with a book. The artist has a look at the characters, does some character sketches, and they get shown to me by the editor.
Yes.
So I could, if I wanted, be as horrible as I like. In your case, I wasn't.
Oh no, it's good, it works well.
Yeah, so we've always got this go-between of the editor, haven't we?
Getting the characters right was quite tricky because she's such a grumpy animal, but yet you still want her to be appealing. So I think I added a bit more eyebrow on various occasions to make her beautiful, but have this go-away look about her.
Because I've heard it's very hard to make birds expressive because the mouth is actually a very expressive part of the body. And of course a bird's just got this beak and you can't really make the beak turn down or up, or you can a little bit, I suppose.
It is a challenge because with most animals you can, make their paws look sad or grumpy or put their tail between their legs when they're fed up. But with birds you have to do it all in the kind of the hunch or the eyebrows, or you can do a little bit with the beak, but you can't change the shape of it too much because that would take the character away. So it was a challenge, but birds are wonderful to draw. They're very humorous. And it was lovely, really lovely, having the different characters because you could paint them all in a completely different way to keep it visually interesting, and just because they're their own little personalities.
One of my favourite books, which I really enjoy reading to the grandchildren, is by Catherine, actually. It's called Solomon Crocodile, and I think, again, you've created a really likeable yet quite not totally innocent character in Solomon. Yeah,
well, at the moment, I have 2 small children, as you know, and we are obsessed with Room on a Broom.
Very good.
Which is good. They absolutely love it, and it gets asked for pretty much every night. So usually 2 or 3 times we read that one through, which is fun.
You are allowed to drop it down the back of a radiator if you get sick of it.
Thank you for your permission. Thank you.
And children and adults seem to love rhyme, and people often ask me what my top tip would be for writing a rhyming story. And I would say it's not so much getting the rhymes, that's not so much the hard part, it's more the rhythm, because sometimes people write, they might say, it was a lovely day, and little Johnny and Peter and Beatrice and all the others went out to play, and they might have 2 lines at a completely different length. So it's really important to work on the musicality and the rhythm of the story.
So a top tip for a child who wants to start drawing and really get into drawing is just to go for it. Just get a piece of paper and don't be frightened of doing that very first line, because I think we're all a bit scared of a blank piece of paper, but once you've started you need to let it flow and not be frightened of making mistakes. Just go for it.
Bye bye. Happy reading.
Thank you for watching.